Well, one of the things that we usually do when we do interpretation is that we have a conversation beforehand with the individuals that are going to be in that meeting, just making sure that everybody feels comfortable with the interpreter, like presenting ourselves and having the opportunity to talk about what we're going to be having the conversation about. So that gives us the opportunity for everybody to start feeling comfortable with the interpreter. We start setting expectations. For example, in that IEP meeting, we want to make sure that people have understand what, like, for example, consecutive interpretation is instead of simultaneous. So if we're doing consecutive interpretation, we want to make sure that people know, hey, say one or two sentences, so, and then give a pause. That way we can get all of the message and we can then convey it. When we have these conversations with other organizations or with the people that are like arranging these meetings, we usually talk about the cognitive codex, bias codex, and it talks, like, the upper left corner talks about like what should we remember. And if we give, in this example that we're doing consecutive interpretation, if we give a ton of information, like 5-6 sentences in a row, like sometimes the interpreter is not able to like annotate everything, and so we're going to say as much as we can, like as close to the message that you said, and then maybe some of that message is going to be summarized. And that takes away the opportunity for the individual to like decide what is important for them. And me as an interpreter, I am deciding for them. This is important for me based on my bias, on my cultural nuances and all of those things. Like, this is important for me. This is what you should be learning. So I'm taking already information from them. So just making sure that we have those expectations set, reminding people of their pace. And this is not only for interpreters, just accessibility in general. Like making sure that not everybody is able to like grasp all of the information if you go one. So just making sure that people are reminded of their pace and that they give sufficient pauses for the message to be relayed. Also, like the seating arrangement. So usually when working with interpreters, you want to make sure that the person that's receiving the message, or I mean, it should be a dialogue, right? Not a monologue between the provider and I'm just giving you information. But if it could be that way, but if it's going to be a two-way conversation, you just want to make sure that both parties are looking at each other and making sure that that conversation goes fluid between them. So not if just having that expectation set before the meeting gives an opportunity for individuals to, instead of looking at me as the interpreter, either if I'm going on English mode or the person, in my case, Spanish, the Spanish speaking individual looking at me, they're looking at each other and making sure that you start building that rapport with the client since the beginning.